In a world of limitless opportunities and countless challenges, the choices we make manifest themselves into the very roads that guide us. And the tribulations and triumphs that shape, weather, and bind these paths together are the very essence of what makes the world such a beautifully strange place. But we walk our path with no map, in search of answers that nobody has, simply hoping that we don't get lost along the way. So maybe just sharing our story of where we come from and the things that have guided us along the way can be enough to guide those lost in their own path.
I'm Zach Bonanza, and this is the Lost Guidance Podcast. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Top of the morning to you all out there. And happy St. Patrick's Day to you. It's
bloody right, man.
Oh, top of the morning to you. I got my good friend here, Billy Howard, in the studio.
We got the Utica Club.
Oh, Utica Club to be doing us right. Welcome to the 6th episode of the Lost Guidance Podcast. I'm Zach Bonanza, your host, and joined, like I said, Billy Howard. Man of all trades, a man of many interests, and like I said, every episode, I want to keep like this underlying theme of things and people who have these stories of overcoming challenges or just finding paths of something they love and diving into it deep. And it seems like every time I get together with your stepson Alex, he's always telling me like, "Oh yeah, now they're building a sauna, and now they're getting some sheep and they're gonna shear them." And so, I guess I just want to get into like what someone like you has driving you to learn so many awesome things.
Oh, that's pretty easy right there.
Yeah.
That one. So I guess when you get my age, which is however old the audience thinks I am, however old you think that is, you do the math backwards. So you do like the average human lives to be this age, and I'm a little bit past halfway there.
Right.
So you do the math backwards, and you're like, okay, I got this many years. And then you're like, okay, take that many years. How many of those years am I going to be healthy enough to do stuff?
Yeah.
So that's basically divide that by 2.
Yeah.
And you're like,
damn.
Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean I jump out of the bed every morning at 6 full of energy, but it does. It makes, so it makes me think like, all right, I'd really like to do this. I've never done this. So let's get on it.
Yeah.
Right? Let's hit it.
When did this kind of start hitting you? When did you start doing the backwards math?
I think it's when you feel like you're halfway.
Like what you feel is like halfway.
Whatever person that it might be.
Right.
There's the first half of your life where you're building, and then it gets torn down by some rhyme or reason, whether it's your fault or life happens to you or whatever. Then it's just like everything that you thought was like your goal. It's just like, what? So then you got choices. Then you can be like, I'm going to go up or I'm going to go down.
Yeah.
And so when that kind of stuff happened in my life, I guess what I did for that, I'm not a book reader. Mm-hmm. But for that year, I read books written about the founding fathers.
Yeah.
Like all these, John Adams and George Washington.
So some historical
all this stuff, and it went through their life and how incredibly challenging their lives were.
Yeah.
Like John Adams's family would go off to be in politics in Philadelphia. He wouldn't see his family for 3 months, and then he'd come back. He ended up going to Europe to talk to France to try to stop this war.
Right.
It took him 3 months to get there. He brought his son. His wife wouldn't go because she was afraid of drowning. The ship had a leak.
Yeah, back then when boats were
it took 3 months to get there, it was a sailboat, obviously, and there was a leak, and so they had to pump it 24/7.
Why?
And then it kept getting worse because it was the seam of the board, and then they only had 2 pumps, so they're double dutying it to pump water out and to get to France to get France to help us or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when they finally found land, it was in Spain, but they didn't care. They're just like, there's land.
Yeah, yeah.
And they basically parked wherever they got on the lifeboats, and they made it. And by the time they got to shore, the ship had sank because there was no one pumping it.
Wow.
And then they spent 3 weeks going over these mountains and with pack mules in the middle of winter. And he's got his 10-year-old son, and his wife's back home. She won't hear how they made out for like 8 months.
Yeah.
And by the time he got to France, the deal was already made, so it was just all for nothing.
Wow.
And then I'm reading stuff like that and many other stories, and I'm thinking, I almost feel guilty for feeling sorry for myself for all these.
Yeah. We think we have it so hard,
yeah,
right?
Oh my God, this happened, that happened.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel like, really, Billy Howard, you're gonna like, you're gonna be like trying because your cereal spilled over.
Yeah.
So
Seriously.
I don't know. Just I got strength from reading that stuff, and I don't really read anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it worked when I needed it. And
It's amazing how prolific those people are, and even hundreds of years later, you know, someone like you getting such depth from it and their story.
Yeah.
Like you said, we think we have it so bad in this country. I mean, the most minute things could set someone off in a day, you know, like that's awesome that you got strength from that, you know?
The king, I hope I'm saying this right. You know, usually I'm telling these stories in a barroom, but like the King of England, he would have had everyone's head that signed that Declaration of Independence.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
If they didn't win that Revolutionary War,
They would have all died.
they were all dead.
Yeah.
And so that's really believing in what you believe in.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot different than the political leaders that we have nowadays. And I don't want to get political, but it's
Right.
It's back then. It was like, wow,
Literally fight for your country. And
yeah,
now
so
it's like,
total sacrifice for your family.
Yeah, for everything you have. And if we didn't have those people,
Yeah.
you know.
Like Abigail Adams, they had a small farm in Massachusetts, and when he would go to the government to be like the whatever he was, for months and months, she took care of that farm in the frozen winter of, you know, it was just like
In the midst of such
it was real life.
turmoil everywhere too, you know. Every state is trying to, you know.
Yeah, and now we
itself.
can't, like, you know, I wake up and first thing I do is check my phone.
Yeah.
You know, check for texts,
I'm
check
so
for
bad
emails.
for that, with that. Yeah, me too.
You know, it's just like they didn't have communications. It was mail, you know, and the mail went by England. It would go by boat, and then there'd be like, you have to be careful what you write in the mail.
Yeah.
Because people could interfere with it. So, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
couldn't write something bad.
People were reading that, absolutely.
was-
Taking the letters and everything.
It's just, I think time was slower because the communication was slower.
So have you been using that and trying to go a little more simplistic? Are you using your phone any less?
No, I try.
Right?
Well,
It's that weird
No.
median of I'm aware of these things and I want to take the steps to be better about them, but at the same time, this is a lifeline. Like a lot could happen, you know.
well, just so you know, I did silence my phone for this 1 hour, so we're safe right
Good.
now.
Looks like we got a couple viewers on our live stream, so I want to see if
Nice.
anybody's chiming in. Not yet. Oh wow.
So yeah,
So okay.
I do try to make a conscious effort to not use my phone in front of people or family or stuff, and it's just some of my friends that are listening might be like, yeah, right, Billy, you know, I don't believe that, but
Yeah, we
I'm
watch you.
trying. I'm starting to try that.
So it was kind of all these this amalgamation of different concepts kind of hit you then, and you got some depth from these books, and you decided life's too short. Let me just start doing the things I love, basically.
Yeah,
And
well, yeah, it's not just all about that, but it's just, if I always figured, like, if you wanted to do something, just do it.
yeah,
So, like, if I wanted to, like, raise, or if I wanted to have a horse, okay, this is way back.
oh, you had one.
Oh, yeah. So, what
Oh,
do I
yeah.
do? Me and my cousin, we went to the auction, and we bought horses, and we didn't even have a trailer or a truck. So we had to buy the horse and then tell the auctioneer, hey, we live near, Sequoia, and if anyone has a truck that wants to, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
And we always got the horse home,
Wow.
But we weren't set up.
So you did this several times.
Oh yeah, we would do things like buy a horse. Then we're like, oh, how are we gonna take care of horse? I mean, the first time I rode my horse, the bit fell out because I had it all wrong.
Oh.
And I was so mad because my grandfather, he grew up back when it was horse and buggy days, and he always talked about horses, and I should have listened to him.
Right. Yeah. Kind of hit you then.
Yeah.
You could have taken a lot of knowledge from it.
My grandfather, this is Doc Howard. So he actually had he had the story where there was a lady, a red-haired, long girl with red hair, was a runaway horse and buggy, and he was chasing it on his horse, and she ended up. The horses turned. It was a team of horses. It turned, and then she fell off, and her hair got caught in the wheel, and it killed her.
Oh, wow.
It kind of probably broke her neck.
Yeah.
And so that's.
And he remembered this and told you this story?
Yeah, that's a story that he told.
Wow.
And he told me when he got older, he said, he was recounting his life, and he's like, I was horse and buggies, and that's how it was. Then he became a teacher. He taught all the grades 1 through 10 in one room.
Wow.
And he showed me a photo of all his students, and he's like, that one died, she's dead, I think he died. So he outlived all his students. He was like 98 or 99. But he was saying that
was
one
that
day.
at the Doolittle Schoolhouse or something? Or
no.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where. But
one of the old ones.
he actually, so he grew up in horse and buggy day. He saw man land on the moon,
Yeah. Lived a lot.
Luckily, he avoided the internet.
Yeah.
He wasn't here for that. But I mean, if you look at that's what happened in a centurion's life.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Now, you were born probably how many years ago? Probably roughly
23.
23 years ago. So, say you're 1/4 through that. Technologies, and I've always said like the rate of advancement of technology increases with time.
Oh, it's very exponential.
It's like a hockey stick. It's just like So I don't know
where it's going to be. Yeah, I remember being a kid and like early computers, just had pinball on and Minesweeper.
Yeah,
and I'm going to my grandmother's, waiting an hour for dial-up to play one game or something.
Yeah.
And now it's like instantaneous, anything you want.
Yeah. So, what kind of story are you going to tell your grandson, like in 75 years from now?
That I started a podcast.
I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
And
anything.
I had Billy Howard on, my man.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's just interesting. So
yeah, So some of the things that I've seen that you've said, hey, I want to do it, and I did it, or so you worked and now you're running your own. It's called the Grassroots, all natural grass-fed beef cattle, which is awesome.
Yeah, we have a small farm in Cassville.
Give it a shout out. Go ahead, people. No.
55 acres. We raise Herefords and Devon beef cattle.
I don't know what those are. I'll be honest.
Those are English breeds.
Oh, okay. Is there something different about?
A lot of it's to do with their efficiency of feed intake to meat output.
Oh, really? Okay.
That sounds pretty bad.
So they need to eat less, but can get fat.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're genetically over the years and years and thousands of years made to produce beef instead of milk.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's what they do. They're British breeds. So other ones would be Black Angus and stuff, but ours are Herefords and then Devons, and we actually got some really good bloodline Devons. So our bull, we bought a bull, and we bought our Devons like 2 or 3 years ago, and the bull that we bought, his father, who is still alive, we saw this is like an incredibly huge animal. Our bull's father came via embryo transplant from Australia.
Really?
So because
embryo transplant. Wow.
Yeah. So in Australia, in the United States, back when they industrial agriculture and industrial revolution and all that.
Yeah.
They brought our country became really good at growing corn at that point, and wheat and stuff, and huge out in the Midwest.
And just started feeding it to cows, right?
Yeah, so they have feedlots with full of like thousands of cattle, and they would just pound them corn all day. And they could produce a carcass 6 months faster than a guy like me.
With grass.
Or even faster than 6 months.
Yeah.
But the Devons didn't work in that environment because they were so good, they just became fat. So they became like too much fat. So back in those days, in the early 1900s or whatever, the American beef industry deselected Devons. So that was really good for the Devon breed because
they got to maintain a grass diet.
They got to maintain the purity of that breed because other beef animals, they would just be bred to whatever, and so the traits that made that breed specifically special became diluted over time, and so the Devons didn't fit that system, so they just were in random places and small farms throughout England and Australia, and so that's where we got ours from.
Wow.
So, and we're not the only ones that have them. There's Devons, they're around, but
some come
very
from
docile, very gentle.
Yeah, I remember being out in the field and we were having one of those campouts, and they just meander on into the tent, stick their head in there. Hey, what's going on in here? Yeah, it's fun. Big dogs basically.
Yeah. So that's, we got, my wife Jackie and I got into raising beef cattle, and then we've always had chickens, so Jackie kind of takes care of all the chickens.
Yeah.
And we sell eggs, so they're free range eggs and grass-fed beef, and we sell it out of our farm.
That's awesome.
And we sell it out of our freezer.
Because you want to, and that's another, it goes back to, like the things you want to do.
Yeah, so, like, I don't think we've ever made money farming. I don't think we've ever broke even farming. But it's more than a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I think it's like many small farms, it's like a hub maybe for a community thing. Like Alex will come over.
Yeah.
It's just what's going on and how come you got sheep now? What's going on with that? So it's like I feel like it's not just our farm, Like later today, one of my wife's girlfriends coming over and she's bringing her family, and because we got little baby lambs, and there's nothing cuter than baby lambs,
really, I saw it.
So we had this is our first go around with sheep, so we bought Lincoln Longwool sheep, which is a heritage breed. They're on the threatened list, so there's not a lot of these.
That's awesome that you're trying to save them.
So
take care of
and a lot of times when an animal's on a threatened list like that, it's not like wild animals. It's kind of like farms that are doing it for profit don't select heritage breeds because they're not as efficient or as good at making you return on your investment.
Right.
So since we don't make money anyways, why not get the coolest sheep that look cool
and
whatever,
and help out the species.
And there's breeders of them throughout New York too, but I think there's less than 1,000 ewes in the country, which ewe is a female sheep.
Okay.
So we have registered sheep. We're just learning about that. We just had in February they had their lambs, and it went pretty good.
Yeah.
One of them had 3, and one of them had 2. So we had 2 ewes, a mother and a daughter. They both had babies. This February we set up our barn special for that, and the one that had triplets, the last one out. If you're ever a sheep, don't be the last one out.
Yeah.
Because she rejected him.
Oh, really?
Which means she felt she could only take care of 2, I think.
That's natural selection kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I guess. So we brought that one into our house, and we bottle feed it every day, and it's just like, it's like my wife and I just had a baby.
Yeah, right?
That's
awesome, though, You guys are doing that.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's a commitment.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's a lifestyle. How long have you been really farming and ranching, if you will?
Probably 10, 12 years.
What made you just want to dive into it?
Well, okay, so we own my grandfather's house. It used to have 50 acres of land, and our neighbor that bought that land sold me the land back.
Oh, nice.
So I had the whole farm back.
So it's
and
staying
it was
in the
kind of
family.
like not used for animals. So the first year, the first whole year I put fences around
Yeah.
and stuff. And then I'm like, I'm not going to have a farmland without animals.
Yeah, right?
So it's just like what you got to do.
Yeah.
If anybody's got land, you got to put animals on it.
Yeah, and then ride four-wheelers around and,
Yeah.
have a good time, enjoy life.
Yeah, so I mean, I've done a lot of things, I guess, not any more than anyone else my age, but I mean, I've done a lot of different things, but a lot of times I end up gravitating in conversation to farming because that's like what I love.
And it's more than just, I mean, it is a lifestyle, but more than just like a career lifestyle. It makes you have a greater appreciation for animals, the land, the organic nature of foods. Like, I know you also do some beekeeping as well,
A little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not
Johnny Mac got you into it.
Yeah, he did. He got us started, and then we never really. I don't think I'm a beekeeper.
No, but you keep bees.
There's bees where I live, and so when I don't know what to do with bees, and I got all the equipment.
Yeah.
But I'm not a bee guy, really.
Yeah.
And like I'll be looking at a bee, it's on my visor, and I'm like, that thing's on the inside. And you're not supposed to freak.
I've been there.
You're not supposed to freak.
Yeah, I've been there.
I freak.
Yeah.
I'm the beekeeper that runs.
Yeah, me too, man.
So what happens now, sometimes the bees don't live in the winter.
Right.
I don't know the reason. It could be.
They really like heat. They operate really well in warm.
It could be a lot of reasons. Some of those reasons are probably my fault.
Yeah.
And so what I do when I don't have bees in the spring, because if you have bees, it's like you always need to have bees.
Yeah.
It's like my mini Air Force.
Yes.
Like I'll sit there on my porch and I'm like, they're coming back and forth, back and forth. There's like a whole trail of them,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you just can't not have that.
Yeah.
So.
And they help with everything, all the vegetation.
Oh my God, yeah.
And pollinate everything. Yeah.
Or if you're way out in your pasture, like a mile away.
Yeah.
And there's flowers, you can hear the bees, and you're like,
oh,
I
absolutely.
bet you those are our bees.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's so funny.
I
They
can't
take
interview
pride
the
in
bee.
it. That's like my Air Force.
There's no
he says.
badge on them.
Right.
It doesn't say what Air Force they're in.
Well, platoon.
But yeah, so what happens when they're dead, if they die, I clean out that hive, and then I buy man-made queen pheromone.
The stick.
A little thing.
Yeah, a little stick. Yep.
And it freaking works.
And they all come. They
A
flock.
new hive just comes.
Johnny Mac used to tell me a bee would fly. They'll travel miles because we used to put the hives on the back of the open bed truck.
Mm-hmm.
They would follow for miles, just that one pheromone.
Yeah.
And that's how you keep all your bees coming with you.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember when I used to work for him. So I've said it before on here. That was like my first job, really.
Yeah.
That was hard work.
I watched that show.
You learn quick.
It's hard work.
All we would do is just go to one field, take some of the fullest hives that are already full of honey and full of bees.
Yeah.
You'd take like a sleeve of bee, like a sheet, a wooden plaque's worth of bee. I forgot what he called it.
I'm gonna think of it.
Yeah. It's a frame of bees, and you put it into an empty one. Like take 2 frames of bees, put it into an empty one, and try to find one of those frames has to have a queen on it, and then they start their own whole new hive.
I've never seen a queen.
Really? They're hard to find.
I can't find them.
By the time I was done after 2 years there, I could like that.
Yeah.
So could Johnny too.
Yeah.
But he was nuts. He would just go out there without a veil most times.
I know.
One time, we were in Cedarville at the little diner at the country store.
Yep.
And
shout out to the country store.
Yeah, right? My voice is so hoarse today. And we're sitting there eating some pancakes, and this guy comes up and goes, "Hey, I saw your truck, or it says McDonald Honeyco. You're a beekeeper?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I have a huge bee problem on my apple tree or cherry tree in my front yard." Johnny goes, "Yeah, where is it?" "Oh, all right, that's right on our way." So we go, we pull over. There's a huge, just like a burl of bees all over this tree, thousands. He just comes up without his veil. Veil's in his hand, scoops up the whole thing of bees in his veil, ties it shut, tosses it in the cab with us.
Yep.
And just goes, all right, we'll take those home and just start a new hive with those bees. Just transport them. I'm like, wow.
Yep.
He's been doing it 50 years probably.
We've done that, actually. And
just scoop up a bag's worth?
I took a whole hive that had, what do you call that when the bee leaves the hive? What do you call it? They're like, I'm out of here. He's gone.
Vacated?
Yeah, they just leave.
Yeah.
They swarm. They swarm.
Oh, right. Okay.
So when they swarm and then they land, they're like this big hunk of bees, and then the queen's in the middle, and that's when they're really docile.
Right.
Because they're vulnerable.
Yep.
So you can do that. And we took a hive off the Sequoia high school field.
Really?
I'm like, well, I'll take them.
And they were honeybees?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then we got a call from our neighbor, and she had bees in the garage, in the barn, and she didn't care about her barn because she was going to tear it down. So as a favor, we took the bees. Well, it was like 100 degrees, and Jackie and me are all in our suit, and I'm like, this is going to make us or break us, Jackie.
Yeah.
And the bee, because it's like, we're like, we didn't feel qualified to do this.
Yeah.
And so it was 1x6s, and I'm prying them off, and then there's boards behind them vertical. So I'm like, this is like, there's bees everywhere, and I'm like,
sweating.
So I had to get my Sawzall out.
Oh, no.
It's not a good thing.
They hate vibration.
Sawzall and bees.
They hate
I'm
it.
like,
and then they lost their mind, didn't they?
It was crazy. It was a lot of work. We got most of them. We put them in to I don't remember how we did it, but we got most of them, which is, I'm not looking for a queen today.
No.
It's just I don't even know.
No. Saying where's
and the neighbor's like, did you get the queen? And I'm like, yeah. And she said, how do you know? And I go, hit a crown on her head. But I mean, I'm just like, I got to get out of here. We're going to die of dehydration. So we took the bees and we, blah, 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 brought them home. And everyone thinks you got all this honey. We got nothing.
No.
And then 3 days later, they left. The
Really?
bees said, we're out of here.
Probably didn't have the queen then, and they just all were like, screw this.
I don't know. Probably, maybe, I don't know.
That's funny.
But it's a lot. Being a beekeeper,
A lot of work.
I'm not a beekeeper, but I give kahutas to beekeepers.
Yeah.
Don't ever arm wrestle a beekeeper.
No, yeah, seriously.
If you pick up a whole box, they're called a heavy. They're 10 inches.
Yeah.
It's full of honey. It's heavy.
It's like 50 pounds at least, probably.
And you, like you said on the last show, you got your suit on.
Yeah,
it's
lugging
super
it.
hard work. Yeah. So I don't think we're beekeepers, but there's bees on our farm.
Yeah. All right. Just another thing you wanted to try and
Yep.
give it a shot.
It was harder than I thought.
So you got the sheeps, the chickens, the bees.
It's the only sport where you're actually trying to keep insects. Like,
yeah, that's true.
most everywhere else, you're trying to get insects away from you.
Yes. Seriously. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, okay. So that's just a variety of the things you do around the farm. And then, so I know you guys also really want to give it a shot at the music scene. And so
we did that.
I started you guys with like violin lessons or piano. One of the two was first.
Okay, so I met Jackie.
Yeah. Who will be on the show.
I have always, yeah, Jackie, you're coming on. Anyway, I always played violin. In my kitchen.
Hold on, just real quick.
I'm thirsty. I want a beer. What about you? You want a beer?
That's my beer line.
I like that.
Training day.
Nice. Uncle Charlie.
Try out one of these Uncle Charlies.
Are we still live and everything?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I had a few people watching in, but...
Did you indulge in the Irish festivities last night?
I did. I did. That's
why
probably why I
you
sound
this
so
morning.
hoarse. Yeah.
I texted you this morning as a test to see,
I was
when you waked up.
I was sleeping on my buddy's couch. It was a good thing you texted me. I was like, I got to motivate myself to move. Yeah, I took part in the festivities. That's why I sound so awful. I was just shouting over everybody.
Were you on Varick Street?
Yeah.
How much out of 10 fun did you have? One would be.
All right. So we usually do the same thing. A big crowd of us will come together, and then we'll get driven down there by a DD, and we meet at a spot, and we say, this is the spot. You got 4 hours, all right?
Oh.
Party it out, and we'll go back, and then we go to Piggy Pat's for
You
some
don't have
food.
to all hang out together.
Right, exactly. So we
Nice.
just kind of flank, and then, all right, so that was fun, going.
How many people?
I think there was maybe 15 of us.
Okay.
But it's like my buddy, his friend, or his family, and like all, cousins, aunts, all that. So we got there, and it was fun. I went into all the different places. First off, it took me like a half hour just to find an ATM that worked. So
Did
that
you go
was
to the parade or just to Varick?
just to Varick.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't done the parade in a while. I should, but I never have that much ambition. So we hung out for a while, but then like towards the end of the day, I realized like I had a little bit of a headache already. So I'm like, I need some food, some water. I'm keeping it like 70 out of 100%, right?
Yep.
I see some of my friends who are 150.
They're taking your other 30.
Yeah. So I saw a buddy of mine leaning off the fence, and there was just like a Jeep or a truck's worth of cops sitting there.
Yeah.
And he's like, I see that he's just kind of rocking back and forth, trying not to move and get arrested for being drunk. And I was like, I just walked over. I'm like, all right, buddy, I'll take care of you. And I'm like, all right, time to hone everybody in,
Yeah. The
So-
cops like to see that.
Yeah,
They like
yeah.
to see someone honing in.
Yeah, I was trying. So I'd say about probably 7, 8 out of 10. It was a good day, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I was pretty
It's
tired.
got to be tough to be a police officer on that day.
Yeah. They got them. They had these side-by-sides now. Utica police side-by-sides. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. They're just tearing up and down the street. I'm like, nice.
Really? Like a four-wheeler
Yes.
type deal?
Yeah.
Nice.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, you used to have one. Do you still?
We have one.
The red one?
The red one.
Cool.
Yep.
I remember that.
Kara X.
Yeah.
Kawasaki.
Nice.
I actually...
If you want to send me one to test drive, I'll be
what did I
ready.
do? I did something to it. I fixed some stuff on it.
Yeah?
I used YouTube. That's what I like about...
Oh, I've learned so much about
You can
even
do
just doing-
anything.
Yeah.
Probably this podcast.
Exactly.
YouTube,
so
how to do
much.
that.
Yeah. I had a lot of help along the way from my buddy Adabacola Abiola, my friend Carly, who helped me draw the
It's
art.
just a lot to it.
It is a lot, but a lot of research, just a lot of time and reading and videos. Yeah.
I looked up how to be a good guest.
Oh,
And
really?
The first thing it said is bring a 12-pack of Utica Club. That's what it said. And if you can get that St. Patrick's Day
yeah.
gig, that's
This
that's
is the gig. This is
That's
the
a
top
killer.
slot.
That's
yeah.
a top. That's a
Yeah.
very sought after.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Next year there's probably be a line of people.
It was tough getting you in this spot. I mean, I had to kick Oprah off a
know.
week.
There's been some payoffs and stuff.
Adam Levine wanted to come back on the show, and he,
Yeah.
he's upset. So
Yeah. So and I got
oh my god, I'm sweating.
a couple people that I think would go really good with this
Really?
show.
Who?
But I gotta ask them.
Okay, we can
before
talk
I-
off the air about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be good. It'd be people I would like to listen to.
That's
know?
what
And
this show is about.
I've listened to a couple of the prior shows.
Yeah.
They were good.
You liked it?
I didn't listen to all of them.
I understand.
You just put a bunch of them up, though. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I only published this like last Wednesday, and I've had a huge outpouring. And on Varick Street, like I was saying before the show, or maybe I've said it, I don't know. So everybody was mentioning it, saying, "Hey, I saw your
Yeah,
podcast,"
yeah,
and I
it's
get
good. It'll
I-
grow.
Yeah, absolutely. For a week, last Wednesday, I published it, and already having like, I think a total of like 600 views and a ton of watch time and stuff. And I get it; people can't watch the whole episode in one sitting. It's hard to watch an
Yeah.
hour of your day, you know.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but to have such support and outpouring has been really awesome.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't
It
know where I
is
was going.
good. You know, it's. I don't know. Like, I guess if you had answered 10, I had a 10 out of 10.
Right.
It would have probably been because you got to meet someone new
Yeah.
and got to learn about them and what
Something.
they did, and that's what a podcast can bring.
Yeah. Oh,
What-
absolutely.
You know, like you might just hit it. You know, there's other podcasts, and I'll play it, and I'm like, whatever, that's background noise.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, they're talking about something good.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
And it hones you in.
all right,
Yeah.
I know I got to do this quote by noon. But
Yeah.
I got to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
first.
That's awesome.
So, I mean, it's ebb and flow, and it depends on the guest.
Yeah.
And, you know, some people will find this show interesting. Some people
Some
will
people
be
won't.
like, that guy's
Yeah.
stupid.
Exactly. And I don't
Whatever.
mind.
It's
you
fine.
know?
It's fine.
That's what the world's about. Is
Yeah, I got a couple
opinions.
I got a couple ideas of people that might work well,
Excellent.
and I'll let you know after that.
Yeah, I've had people hit me up
it's
and
fun.
talk about their stories and things that they would like to share, and it's awesome, you know.
Yeah.
I do have quite an awesome lineup coming, but there's always going to be days where I need guests, and I want to keep this regularly going, like every Sunday at least. obviously I'm going to try and pencil in some other shows, but every Sunday try to go live and talk to somebody about their, what guides them. And so, I mean, I hope it only grows. Like I said, it's amazing to see how much it shot up so quick.
I guess I was going to always avoid talking about work, but I guess we could do that. So we started with current events, and now we'll go backwards.
All right, let's do that.
So I went to high school.
Uh-huh.
That was good.
Uh-huh. Where'd you go?
Sequoia.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to be an electrician.
Right.
So I found out that you have to have algebra. And I failed algebra. So as a senior, I took it again, and I got a 68. Back then, 65 was good. You're good.
Yeah.
But that's not great. Like, no one brags about that.
Right.
I got a 68 just because the teacher knew I had to have it.
Nice.
So I went to BOCES for electricity. I did not go to college other than socially, And
Thank you.
I took a couple night courses and stuff. Don't get me wrong.
MV or UC or
MV. I did take a few things, but not a college guy. And then I went to work. Let me see. I used to solder computer components for a company in Herkimer called MDS, Mohawk Data Sciences.
Okay.
And I was like 20 or whatever. And I was in this department where you'd get this whole rack of circuit boards, and you'd have to unshort the dips where they dipped them in. And
really,
I was just like the new guy on the job. It's like I had a real job, and I'm like flying, right? And these older people, we'll call them people because they were women, but we can't say women.
Yeah.
But they were older ladies, and they were really nice. But they were like, "Honey, you got to slow down because this department." I mean, you're good.
You're making us look bad.
Like on their first day, they could do that, but not on their 10th year.
Right.
So I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
So I started making them sailing little clipper ships out of wire. Like I would do a board fast, then I would just make a little
doodle,
ship.
like have some fun.
Hey, you can have that. It was fun. I worked there for 3 months. Then I got an offer to come work for a guy in New York Mills. You ever heard of that town? Garden Street.
Vaguely, yeah.
Garden Street. Okay, so this was an entrepreneur from England that was working for Rolls-Royce Canada in Toronto, and also for a local company here.
Wow.
That's still here, and I won't say their name. Because neither employer knew about the other employer, and at the same time he was starting his own business. And I'm like, I can wire machines, so I was helping him. And he's like, you should come work for me. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to get laid off. And he goes, you'll never get laid off. And I go, you sure? He goes, I'm sure.
Okay.
So I told my new boss at the soldering for old ladies job that I had to leave there. And so I went there. And there's a whole long story. It takes forever. You'd have to have a lot of podcasts.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bore anyone.
Dude,
I'm telling you,
if
man.
people don't want to listen, they can shut it off.
I'm telling you.
I am interested.
We did a lot of stuff. So we were like...
So hold on, let me get this.
We were in New York Mills.
So you had gone to MV and got an electrician's degree by now, right? No, you just went and took a couple classes on wiring.
I didn't, yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so now you're over in New York
Well,
Mills.
I was an electrician for a little bit. And I wasn't an electrician, but I drove truck for an electrician company.
Okay.
And then one day, I was always late because it was in Utica. So we were like, drive this to the Faxon Hospital job. There's a job going. I'm like, drive this wire there. And I'm like, I was always lost. I was always late. The guys were mad. And every time, I would work there for like 7 days. And on the 6th day, I'm backing up this stake rack truck full of wire and stuff. And I go right into this car. And I get out, and it's a Mercedes-Benz, and it's brown, and it's beautiful. And the whole grill's
not
crap.
Not anymore.
And I'm like, I parked the car, and I went into the office, and I was more nervous than I was to come on this podcast. And I was like, and this guy that's the janitor, he comes up, and he's like, what's up? And I go, I just backed into a car. And he goes, was it brown? And I go, yeah. And he goes, oh, that's mine. Don't worry about it. And I go, what? It's not your car. It's not your car because you wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
He goes, it wasn't the Mercedes, was it? I go, yeah. He goes, that's the owner's. And I go, okay, I got to tell him. So I told him that, and then the guy's like, he was nice to me, but I didn't fit in.
That
I didn't know
sucks.
any roads.
And then you're like, this is a bad way to start a weekend.
The next day, I went to work. Every day, you had to check the oil. It was the first thing on the truck. I went in. I lifted the hood of my truck. I checked the oil. The oil was good. I put the dipstick in, and I walked out the door, and I went home.
Really?
I quit.
Wow.
I just said it wasn't working, man.
That is funny.
quit.
Is that like the quickest you've ever been through a job? Like in and out?
Yeah,
Want to know mine?
I do.
15 minutes. No. That's being hyperbolistic. I'd say 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was
See,
it was
you
at a
got the
local.
record.
It was a local pizza place in the hometown of where we. You can imagine which one that is.
Yeah. I know.
It sits next to a gas station.
I'm familiar with that.
Okay.
A lot of pizza places do, though. We're not incriminating anyone.
No.
There's
Most
always a
pizza-
gas station by a
Most
pizza place.
places are next
You
to
ever
a gas
notice that?
station. Yeah, I just now that I
What's up
said
with
it.
that? What is up with that?
So you can get. All right, so I went in and I was like, I was eating pizza and I saw a sign and they're like, need a delivery driver. So I was like, I applied. Owner comes out and he goes, yeah, you can start Monday. So I had a long sleeve shirt on at the time. So I went in and I start and I'm in a t-shirt because it's 150 degrees in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And I have a sleeve's worth of tattoos. And he comes in maybe 5 minutes after the guy showing me how to make pizzas. First off, you said I was going to be a delivery driver. Now I'm making pizzas.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, you have tattoos? You're going to want to cover those up when you come here. I go, it's 110 degrees back here. You want me to wear a long sleeve shirt? He goes, yeah. I'm like, oh, this is going to go well.
Yeah.
So then about
Yeah.
10 minutes, 20 minutes later, I've made like 2 pizzas, filled up like the supplies, like peppers, onions, and all that. And then they're like, all right, now we're going to wash dishes. And I go, gave him my apron, and I go, nah, not happening. I was like, I've at this point,
It wasn't the welcome wagon.
no, at this point, I just got my 2-year degree. I felt a little bit, not that there's anything wrong with people working their way up and washing dishes, whatever, but I personally felt like I'm not going backward from where I was just working to a delivery driver is one thing, a couple bucks to get me by for a little bit.
Well, no, you can go backwards.
Yeah.
To go forward.
Yeah.
But you need to be treated like a decent.
Yeah.
Like you know what?
And you want me to cover myself up, and then
Yeah.
you tell me I'm going to drive, and then I'm making pizzas and washing dishes. I'm like, come on, man. So,
You know what, though?
45 minutes.
I guess, so whoever that was that didn't want your tattoos out,
Yeah.
I kind of went through like that, too. I was kind of like, man, I'm not sure about tattoos because my generation, no tattoos.
Right.
But now I think about it.
I see everyone.
So
with
I was like a
tattoos
punk
now.
rocker
Yeah.
and stuff. I listened to weird music. That, like my friends were like, where'd Billy go?
Yeah.
Because like for 2 years, I wasn't their friend. I hung out in Utica at Johnny's Hideout. It was a punk rock bar. It was
Really?
I had a lot of fun and just did what I wanted. So I shouldn't be like a guy that looks down on tattoos.
Right.
But for a little bit I was, and now I'm like good. And I know if I was your age, I would have all tattoos. I would.
Yeah. A lot of people my age
I would
do.
be all in on what you guys are all in on because that's what it's a life is a
trend.
tribe. You're a
Right.
tribe.
Yep.
Everybody's a tribe.
Yep.
And so yeah, the best thing is if you can be in a tribe and then not kill the other tribe. That's that's nice.
Kind of hard to see that happening these
yeah,
days.
but you know what? I get that. but
Yeah.
I think it's really good that you stood up to that.
Yeah.
Said, you know what? I can make minimum wage everywhere.
I can do anything. I'm not going to deal with this nonsense. You know?
Right.
I feel like I've earned, in my mind, I go through levels where I'm like, I've earned my own level of self-respect. And now I'm not going to allow myself to be seen any less than this. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And in my own mind, if I feel like I'm going below my own standards, I can't. That's cognitive dissonance right there. If I'm doing something that my
I
own
don't
heart
even know
and
what
my
that means.
cognitive dissonance.
I like that.
It's like when you say and believe in one thing but do another, so if my heart says I should be working harder than to have to wash dishes, if I'm washing dishes while I'm doing that, and that angst, that
You're a non-conformist.
that tension,
Yeah.
that's cognitive dissonance. It's when your brain and your actions aren't in a line, your spirit,
And that causes stress.
yeah,
It's
anxiety, stress.
It's like paddling upstream.
Yeah.
That's not life.
And I think that's why people feel such, like, now more than ever. Think about it. You probably even realize when you were younger, did you see everybody having anxiety or depression, or at least admitting it openly. Everybody says, oh, I have anxiety. And that's not to belittle it. That's to say people are probably coming to terms with the fact that they have anxiety, and it's an open thing now.
Yeah.
But that comes, I believe, from people wanting one thing in life and doing the opposite. Like, yeah, I want to do this, but like I'm conforming to this.
Yeah.
And that's why you're like, oh my God, you go home and you hate your life or your job or whatever it is. And then you come, when you're lying in bed and you can't sleep and your brain's on a treadmill.
Yeah.
It's because you're inside. You're like, I want to do everything differently. Like my heart, my soul, my morals, my spirit is all telling me to do something else. But in 7 hours, I got to wake up and go to this freaking place I hate or whatever it is,
Yep.
And I see that everywhere, all in today's society. And that's why I think anxiety and all that is so prevalent now, more than ever.
Yeah. So going back to how you felt the day you quit, which has world record.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Less than an hour. Nice.
I need a belt.
I did have a guy go to lunch once and never come back to
Really?
at work, but I saw him 7 years later. I go, what? He's still eating? But anyway, I think it's good that you stood your ground, right? You know, like, hey, my generation has tattoos.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah, right.
And we're not going to wear long sleeve shirts.
Yeah. That was
good. Did you ever hear of Alan Watts on YouTube or anything?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He's an older guy, and he's passed away. He's a philosopher.
Okay.
So he talks about all these kinds of things, like stress. So if you look at, say you have a white board with a black object.
All right.
So the black thing is the object.
Yeah.
And then in your brain, you just say, now the white thing's the object. And you don't see the black thing. Now the white's the object. Then you go back to the black. Then you go back.
So what you're focusing on.
That's good because you can fluctuate. But if you lived at the pizza place and now you're the manager, and you still wore long sleeve shirts, although you'd look much more buffer, you'd be thinner and really ripped up, nice,
shredded.
But
from
you
all that
wouldn't.
pizza
But you
turning.
would have stress because
Right.
you're doing what you just said.
I hate it.
And
I
so
would
what
hate it.
Alan Watts was saying is like the ability to not. I mean, you'd have to listen to Alan Watts, and I encourage everybody listening today to listen to this guy. He's incredible, interesting, and he actually talks against chill step. Is that the kind of music or something?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Pretty good.
I
Anyway,
still listen to 70s rock. So
it's good. So if you conformed and lived there and stayed there and became the manager of that, then you would get my age, and then you would say, I'm a fool.
Yeah.
I'm living a false life.
Yes. And I think
So when you walked out, you didn't know where you're going to go.
No.
But you know you're not going
and
to
it
go
always has worked out for the better whenever I make a decision. I always used to think it was a bad thing that I'd hate complacency. I knew I signed up for a 4-year degree at college, and I got my 2-year, and I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I need to change it up. It's not fulfilling enough.
There's a saying for that.
What's it?
To risk nothing is to risk even more.
Say that again. I'm going to make that a soundbite.
To risk nothing is to risk even more.
Wow.
Because
risk nothing is
So if you stayed at the job with your long sleeve shirts and did all the work, and then they would actually probably, I don't know the pizza place, could have been anyone, but they would probably see your conformance as a weakness and take advantage. And then pretty soon you'd be vacuuming out the boss's car and doing this and that.
I
and
believe
so you chose to not do that, and you walked out like, oh my God, I don't have a job, but guess what? I'm going to be okay.
Fuck them.
Well, maybe. Well, you don't have to.
No.
You could actually go buy pizza there.
No, I do. I still do.
It's
but
good.
No, it's a growing experience. And it was kind of like a self-realization moment. Like I said, I would rather not have the money than listen to what that person has to say or let him judge me or let him even think that his image would be tarnished.
Yeah.
Like the pizza place is going to be tarnished because I have tattoos out? That's like, what?
When so I'm quite a bit older than you. I grew up like that.
Right.
It's just like, you get a job, you stay there.
Yeah.
You don't screw around.
Right.
But, and I did. I worked my first real official job, 18 years I worked there.
Wow. Where was this?
It was called Circumet Coatings Technology in New York Mills, New York, on Garden Street.
Oh, so we can take it back to that.
Well, I didn't want to, but we have to.
No, we can.
Sometimes we have to.
Eventually,
I'll do it. Take one for the team, right? So that's what it was. So 18 years, right? But I was working with my friends,
right?
Which is also a bad move. But,
yeah. Why do you think that?
Well, we would get drunk, and we knew it. We'd be like, we can't be late for work anymore. So we would go to work and sleep in my boss's bedroom or in his office. He'd come into work and we're sleeping because we got like drunk.
That's funny.
Stupid shit like that. But anyway, it's tough. It's hard to be friends in high school and then be coworkers.
Right. Absolutely.
But anyway, where I was going with that is I'm kind of old school. Like you need to stay at your job, you need to save your money and blah, 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 blah. But now I'm getting older and I'm thinking, you know what? I think it's important to be happy.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of kids like your age, and they're pretty happy. I feel like.
Yeah.
Like I really felt like when I was your age, I was like, there was just. I mean, we had fun.
But you're going through the motions, kind of.
But No, I took a block of time out of every day, 8 hours, and that was my drudgery or my work. And it might not have been drudgery. Sometimes it was fun. I'm not saying that. But my real life was at 4:30 till the next morning at 8.
Yeah.
And the less I slept, the more life I could get.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
That's a great way of looking at it.
Stay up late.
Yeah.
Try to get to work on time.
I totally relate to that 100%.
I punch out my brain.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. It's hard to say. It's hard to explain, but I think it's important to have a balance. So in a guy your age.
Yeah.
Or a gal your age, it's important to have the wherewithal to be independent.
Yeah.
And if you can save some money for when you get older, that's great.
That's a big thing. I've heard that there's some statistic, like only maybe.
That'll make you happy.
Oh. To be able to have that foundation.
If you're putting a little in the tilly, every week,
but I forgot what the numbers are.
It'll make you happy.
It's only like maybe 10% of people my age have any savings. Most of the paycheck to paycheck, something weird. I don't know the exact statistic, but that's like you said, maybe that's getting lost though. Maybe that need
10% of any let's say you're making minimum wage, 10% of minimum wage accumulated year over year over year with interest and right investment.
Right.
It's liberating and freedom. It gives you freedom, and freedom gives you happiness. So you can be a dishwasher at the pizza guy's place. You don't have to, not everyone is going to make a lot of money.
Right.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
It's what you do with the money that you make.
And I think it's also being happy with where you are in life, and I feel like that is a reason why probably you and I both, we came to the terms that we don't want to be complacent. And so that's what led you after 18 years to make a career change, really.
Yeah, well, I think I started liking you the most when you would tell these stories about, like, I used to work here, now I'm working there, and I'm like, how the hell did you do that? And he's like, that was one hell of a job. It's just like full of energy and vitality and vibrant personality. And you know what? I'm like that. Yeah. But I'm not always like that. Yeah. A lot. You ask Jackie, she's like, "Oh, you're a crab ass. You're a little piss pop, but just like, walking around like a mummy." I'm not always like this, but I was so excited to come on the show.
Oh, thank you for coming on. That's awesome.
You said you could have beer.
Oh, like, beer, swearing, whatever you want.
Yeah. So then instead of preparing, I started thinking, don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
That's all right. We can always cut it out.
Yeah. So.
No, I love it because I think this is a great platform to really we otherwise probably wouldn't have coaxed these stories out unless you're just sitting down.
Well, there's a lot more, and
we got time.
But I think so. On the other hand, it's good for me to hear who's going to be here in a couple of weeks. I'll hear that. Yeah, and I'll be like,
and
I don't know that guy, but that was interesting.
And I'm trying to get a lot of different variety of guests with different stories, so that people can get whatever they like. People have different interests and different.
You don't want to be in a like this podcast is about that.
Right.
You want it to be like,
exactly.
who the hell knows what
Just
they're going to talk about?
tell me
Really?
stories, man. That's what I love to hear. So
Yeah. Like, so if this podcast was like 50 years ago,
yeah,
it would be some older couple turn on their AM radio and
right,
turn the dial.
right.
So it comes in and it's like, I wonder what they're going to talk about
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
And
podcasts are coming so far. Like, I don't even remember hearing about podcasts until a few years ago, right? And then now,
yeah.
you got Joe Rogan, of
Joe
course,
Rogan.
is the top of the food chain. He's got to have one of the most popular podcasts ever. And you see just everybody having one, all different
Yeah.
comedians, politicians, storytellers, all different themes. And it's a nice outlet to really kind of get to the core of whatever you like and enjoy.
Yeah.
What I like and enjoy is talking to people and learning things.
Yeah.
And now just learning about, your backstory and farming and the difference between Devons and
Yeah.
and I love it, so I hope, I don't know, we'll see where it goes. I hope it goes very far. I hope people like it and subscribe and spread the word.
Yeah.
I hope it gets big.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it will.
Thank you.
I wanted to say this, though. I wanted to say this. Like, very few things I wanted to say today, but this is one of them.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I don't know how many years ago. I bought a 6-foot wide rototiller and it was hooked to my tractor.
Yeah.
So it can just, like, do your whole garden like nothing. Like, brrr, and
That's
stuff.
nice.
And so, back at that time, I was with Jackie, and we had heard, or somehow it came out, like, the saying, like, if you give something, you get back tenfold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to test it. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Because it's not possible. I mean, you're not going to give 1% and get 10%. It's not going to happen.
No, not normally.
So I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to, I don't know. I don't think I wrote it down, but so that was the, what would you call that? What do you call that word? That was like the thing, the rototiller.
Okay.
I'm like, I will
example
rototiller.
of-
That was the vehicle or something.
Okay.
So I'm like, when you live in Cassville and you get a new farm implement, everybody knows. They're like, oh, you got a rototiller. I could use a garden rototilling. So I just said to myself, anybody who wants a rototilling job, I'll do it.
Okay.
And I'm not taking any money for nothing. I'll drive. Like, I drove to Sequoia and stuff on the tractor.
With your tractor?
Yeah, I don't care.
Wow.
I'll do it. Whatever. You don't even have to know me. So I did it. I did it for a certain amount of people. And some people offered me money. And I'm like, nope. I didn't say the reason. But what I ended up learning is, I mean, I shouldn't tell the end of the story yet, but I guess some people didn't give you anything back, but so you just almost forgave them. You're just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's the experiment.
Right.
And I need data. I need real pure data. But what I found out is you couldn't find the conclusion to that experiment in the first year. You'd have to wait 3-4 years because eventually you got it all back.
Right.
Tenfold.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that's kind of driving Jackie's life and mine. And I don't know I think she's leading the way,
Yeah.
I'm the follower.
Yeah.
But she's into it. I
Yeah.
mean, like
She does a lot with the community
she
and
does.
everything. It's
She's,
amazing. It's amazing.
She's on the board of Your Neighbors Inc., which is an organization that was started up by Carol Grove and the Grove family, and they fill the gaps between Meals on Wheels, and the people that are waiting or whatnot. Or it could be immigrants, or it could be someone comes in and they find a person that doesn't have anything, and they'll find you
Wow.
a table, and they won't set you up like with a podcast room, but
Right.
they'll give you food, so
Yeah.
she's making meals and stuff all the
That's
time.
awesome.
And
What was it called again?
Your Neighbors Inc.
Your Neighbors
Yes,
Inc. Everybody,
and
they have a website?
That is it's at the Zion Lutheran Church, which is along the Boilermaker route where you turn your right by that church,
Yeah.
and you can park there.
Yep.
It's like next to Friendly's.
Yes.
So it's
Off
great.
of
It's a great group.
Burstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's all over that. Like after church today, we were making meals. Our church was, And so these are frozen little meals that go in an oven, and people, when you call and you need meals, they just bring them.
That's
and
awesome.
It's 10 minimum. And so she's doing that all the time. She's working at Mother Mary Marietta's or something down on Barrack Street. Soup kitchen every Friday, and she completely loves it. She's immersed in it.
That's awesome.
And so
that is so powerful and inspiring.
We're linked up with a lot of that stuff, and I'm just trying to keep up. She's the leader, I'm the follower.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and I feel like that makes us happy.
It's great that you both found each other and you both inspire each other to do these things too.
It takes a long time.
Yeah.
50 years, I always say. It took 50-something years to find the right girl.
Yeah.
But
well, you guys are so perfect for each other.
Yeah, we get along good, and she's very tolerant of my bad parts, whatever they may be. I'll leave that to your imagination.
Yeah.
But I think it's important, actually, when I was in Boy Scouts, I wasn't a Boy Scout, but I was helping Cub Scouts, my boys.
Okay.
And we went. They were in Cub Scouts, Austin and Jared, and so the whole troop, we went to the Clayville Friends and Neighbors.
Yeah.
So that's a community food bank.
Yes.
And so we went up there as a group, and we went all the way up the stairs to the food room, and there was a lady there, and I won't say her name, but she just looked at all the little boys, and she goes, "I want to tell you something, boys. If you're ever sad or disappointed or not feeling good, all you need to do is help somebody. And as soon as you help somebody, they'll smile. And when you see their smile, you'll be happy too."
Wow.
And I felt like she's talking to me. She's
Yeah.
talking to the kids.
That's heavy.
But it went in my heart.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
So,
what a good little quib to kind of pass along to, not just them, but to you, to really get something out of it.
If you feel bad and sad and depressed, I mean, I'm not saying it for every depressed person, because there are truly clinically depressed people that this does not apply to.
Right.
But if you're just like a weekend warrior depressed person, you're not helping enough. You need to get in the trenches and do some shit, because it makes you feel strong.
Yeah.
It makes you fired up. Right?
What a great message, though. Seriously, I don't think people do that enough these days. And that's why, I don't know, a lot of people, unfortunately, seem to be living for self-gratification, or even just by necessity, having to look out for themselves. Yeah. But I think if you do give, and you have those moments where you can kind of lay it all on the line and put somebody else's needs before your own, I think it does pay off dividends. I think in the end, your soul will be happier, and you're happier.
You're helping yourself.
Yes,
you
absolutely.
really are. It's kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
I always say there's like pie makers and pie takers in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So for every pie maker, there's going to be a pie taker.
Of course.
But I think if you did a scientific study, you would find that the pie makers are happier than the pie takers.
Yeah.
The people that are giving, the people, and I really respect the really hard-working people that, like, they're balancing their life. Maybe they're a single parent, 3 kids, and they still find time to help somebody do something. I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And there's no such thing as being too busy to do that.
I know. And that's unfortunately what happens a lot, I feel. Life does get a hold of us, and we're all guilty of it. Sometimes things get ahead of us, and then you got to slow down and realize how good you have it. Remember, like we were talking at the beginning, how bad it was back then for our forefathers and our ancestors, and how
we can't imagine it.
Yeah. And to be upset by such trivial little things in modern day society, you really got to try and force yourself to step back, look at the big picture, and be like, what can I do? My life isn't that bad. What can I do to help somebody else who's worse?
Did you ever so this is kind of a weird thing to say, but did you ever not have any money? Like say from Friday till next Thursday,
Absolutely.
I don't have any money.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that was good.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't have any money.
Yeah.
I don't have to think what to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm broke.
Yeah.
That's
my life is dictated.
You're good. Or if you forget your phone, say let's say Zach Bonanza is going to a wedding in Connecticut, and he forgets his phone. Halfway to Connecticut, he's like grinding his brain.
I'm gonna turn around, probably. Yeah,
I can't take it.
Yeah,
but after you give him a couple beers, what are you drinking? Oh, it's Utica Club.
Little UC.
Utica Club. Give him a couple UCs. all of a sudden he starts to think of the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is pretty good. I'm like isolated.
Detached almost.
Enjoy it. It's kind of cool.
I know, it's like
I'm addicted though. I'm not.
Me
trying
too.
I'm not trying to be something I'm not.
right. No, I'm not going to be the pot calling the kettle black. But,
I wish I wasn't.
I mean, I feel like I'm a superhero if I go halfway through a movie at the movie theater and don't check my phone. You know?
Yeah, that's
I'm like, yeah, look at me doing shit right today.
Or if you put your phone away for a whole meal,
yeah, you feel
it's like you should. You feel like I want someone to high five me.
I know, seriously.
It's dessert. And I'm
Where
like, yeah. Make this quick.
Where we come from?
That's bad.
I know. It's
Bad behavior.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What
do you want to talk about?
So
Are we live?
yeah, oh yeah, buddy.
I'm just teasing.
We're over now. We're kicking it. So tell me, I want to know what, if you don't mind, I want to know what happened after the 18-year mark. You said you were at your last job, and then
So 18 years.
because I know you're
okay
with TRU, and
Yeah. So
Winfield,
I'll try to go fast.
we got all day if you want. This is good shit to me. I love this.
So I'm
talking and learning.
I'm like
story.
your age or whatever, and I'm working for the guy that works for two other companies, but starting his own company, and then he officially starts his own company.
Okay.
And blah blah blah. And I'm with my high school friends, and we're working. We're just working. It was fun. But anyway, as that company grew, we outgrew Garden Street.
Okay.
I'm sorry, New York Mills, but we had to leave. And we went to West Frankfort Industrial Park.
Sending all the jobs away.
We were the first building in the West Frankfort Industrial Park, with Northern Safety and all that.
Yeah.
We were the first building there. I wasn't the owner. I was working for the guy.
Uh-huh.
I was working for the man. But I loved the man, and he was my mentor, and he taught me everything, a lot of everything that I know. So anyway, worked for him, and it grew and it grew and it grew. It became like 120 people, and I had all these like bosses. I was middle management.
Okay.
So I had incredible opportunity to be your age and work hand in hand with guys that spent their whole life in machine shops, which you would call those tool makers.
Yeah.
This is a guy that can make anything you ask him. These are older men that were just incredible. And so I learned from everybody my whole life. They just basically, if you want to be what I became, I was pretty lucky because it just, all I had to do is show up.
It's
That's basically every job.
Did you recognize that though, that you were just almost like a sponge willing to absorb all
Yeah,
this?
I knew that.
And you were
I was always like,
yeah.
My whole life I'm like, when I was like I was like 10 years old, I'm like, I'm going to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking it's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I thought differently than nowadays. Like, to me, that was like, if I became a millionaire,
you'd be happy.
I'm going to be happy.
And then you realize.
And then I'm like, holy crap, everything I put my money in, I lost.
Yeah.
I lost everything. So I never became a millionaire. I'm a thousandaire, though.
Take it.
And I see a lot of millionaires, and they're not all that happy.
No.
You know?
They
live in these big houses and
empty houses.
Screw that.
With meaningless experience.
Nothing wrong with that, but it's not for me.
Do you know Zach Gerke?
I do.
You remember him?
I do.
I
know a lot about him.
Okay, so you know he works for somebody out in Hollywood.
I do. I know.
And he says the same thing. He goes, a lot of that is such very surface interactions, very shallow interactions amongst people, and it's almost like not fulfilling to even see, you know, their lives.
Wait, say that again.
So people have
I was talking about him last night.
Really?
Yeah.
He says I'm not going to give anybody, names, but he says he's talking to people who are in the big scene and in the popular parties and things.
Yep.
And it's just a lot of very surface interactions, a lot of shallow interactions of people who are just kind of there amongst each other, but never really wholly connected.
They're not podcasting.
Right. Yeah. You're not sharing a life experience or anything with each other. You're just sharing something at face value that can go on Instagram or whatever. So
he was my stepson's buddy.
Yeah.
You know, and he wanted to become a welder, and he became a welder.
Yeah.
He got a great job.
Oh, he's a very talented
And what I liked about
hard
it
worker.
is like he just said, "All right, I'm leaving."
Yeah. I'm gonna
So
go to,
I would never do. So that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not molded from that, but I respect that.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, all right, I did that. I'm good.
Well-
and I'm leaving. And he said, I can always come back. And I'm like, you're right.
Yeah.
And he took off and he went out.
But I do see some similarities in the sense that you're both very hard workers and you recognize the opportunities you've been given.
That's a
And-
stretch. I don't know that I'm a hard worker. I'm hardly a worker. But yeah, I just, you know, I respected that he did that because
Yeah. Oh, me too. So much.
I'll tell you, Billy Howard, you can like him or hate him. He's never going to just like
Pack it up.
get in a car at your guys' age and just book out.
Yeah.
And like,
That
"See ya."
wasn't- that wasn't your
that
scene?
wasn't me.
No. Would you do it now?
I'd go to Boston. And
Why Boston?
maybe you could go like
was probably so
somewhere.
Just
It's
plug
all
this in.
right.
Why?
It's all good.
Why
I'll
Boston?
just talk through this.
Yeah, go ahead. Why Boston?
I went to Boston once. So I was like probably a punk rocker.
Does
and
this
I
go
was
back to the forefathers?
this was before the forefounders. I don't know what's going on, but I don't care.
It's my.
fine. I love it.
Sorry, yeah.
I'm loving it.
Just getting spicy up.
I
with
was like 18, and Dad's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going to Boston." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I'm going to Boston." He's like, "Why?" I go, "I don't have no idea. I have no idea why I'm going to Boston."
it. Yeah.
And it was Friday night, and I'm like, "I'll see you like Sunday." I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm like, I gotta get out. I gotta do something.
Just go.
So I went to Boston.
That's awesome.
I had a Fiat, so spray painted silver and black. I like the Raiders. Spray painted in the winter. All the paint flew off by April. I drove this thing to Boston, and I'm like, all right. I'm like talking to myself, like, I don't even know what I'm doing here. You know, it was horrible. I was like, I'm in the city. I don't even know how to drive in this
So
place.
why would you want to go back there? Just pack
I
up and
don't.
go? Oh.
I'm just saying.
Oh.
I'm not the guy to go out. Like a lot of guys that are friends of Jackie's boys.
Yeah.
My step boys. They go to Colorado. They're Montana. I know. Also, I pulled up a picture of you the other day.
Yeah.
You were with my son Austin, and
Yeah.
we went to see some death metal band.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Mushroom Head.
You're all like this.
Mushroom
and-
Head, yeah. Yeah, I remember you mosh pitting like a champ.
Freaking, you know what? That was my last day. I'm in this incredibly violent mosh pit, and these big, huge dudes they're coming up to me like they can level me,
Like ready to
but
headbutt
they're
you.
letting up on me.
Yeah.
They're like letting up on the old dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do that. I can't have this.
Yeah.
I want the full knockout.
Yeah, I remember.
Knock me out,
I remember
man.
we just launched you across the room into another guy.
These guys are able to knock me out, and I'm getting this powder puff. It's not right. But I mean, I took you guys to that, but I enjoyed it too.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it was a
fun.
great time. It was so
fun.
much fun. Yeah, it used to be called the Northern Lights.
I
in Albany.
remember, I don't know if it was that show, but I think it was. The last song, the guy comes out with a gas can, but it was full of water. But
Oh,
I
and
thought it was gas.
They started pouring it all
Poured
over
it
himself.
all over
Yeah,
himself.
I remember
He's
that.
screaming, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Lunatic.
And I remember all that, like the mosh pit and all that.
Yeah.
This always stuck in my head, like that it's tribal.
Yeah.
It's tribal.
Very.
If you mess with any of them kids, they're all gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And if one of them gets knocked down, they're lifting them up.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Get up.
It's
A very primitive mentality almost.
it's releasing
Yeah.
all their stress in a physical way, but it's not in a bad, angry way.
No.
And you know, guys my age are looking at that
It's a
look at them, their guys are crazy.
It's like
You're
a collective.
No, they're not crazy.
It's a collective unity amongst
It's
them.
a-
Like, yeah.
You know,
Very
there's no-
tribal. That's
there's
a good way of putting
nothing.
it.
There's nothing more comforting than to be an official member of a tribe of
Yeah.
anything.
Absolutely.
And if your tribe isn't doing bad shit, that's even better. Like if your tribe's not like invading countries and
Normandy.
Canada.
Canada.
Why not take Canada?
We.
Easy picking.
Yeah.
But if you're in a tribe, and your tribe is just, pulling their weight and having
Yeah.
fun, that's a good tribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good tribe.
That's awesome.
So I guess I don't even know what I was talking
Where
about.
we were going with
Who knows?
working over at you outgrew
so
New York
then-
Mills and then
Yeah, I had this opportunity, and I became. I was one day they called me in the office, and they're like, "Yeah, sure." So they're like, "You're an engineer. You're an engineer." They're gonna make me an engineer.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm like, we didn't have internet, so I'm like, I gotta learn how to spell that. So I was what they called an aircraft engineer. So you would go through all these books and come up with procedures of how to fix parts that the FAA designates.
Okay.
And so all I really was a librarian.
And what was it called at this time?
Nothing against librarians, but it was called AAR, Engine Component Services.
AAR Engine
Yeah, so they repaired industrial gas turbine parts. That's what I did, and then also aircraft. So commercial airline parts.
Okay.
Okay.
Very interesting.
So it was, you do it by the rules.
I got so many fucking drinks over here. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you're doing good. But what do you like better, Coors or UC?
I went with the Coors.
I know.
Here's the thing.
Colorado.
I'm a liquor guy. Always Captain and
like?
Ginger. Captain and Ginger. Tastes like vanilla,
Captain
Morgan, rum, spiced rum.
Okay, yeah. Not me.
But I grabbed beers so that it could fill the mini fridge, and
that's awesome.
it's a pretty cool mini fridge. I got a great deal on it, and it's got a light up and everything.
I love it.
Unfortunately, I can't run it, keep it ice cold, but I'll just build it up in coldness and unplug it because it's so loud. But anyway, I got the Coors, and they're really good. They're refreshing and everything, but I prefer UC. But either way, I find myself getting so burpy, and I feel like it's disgusting.
Yeah, not that I'm obsessed with beer, but I think Coors is the only national brewery that's non-union.
Really?
I think so. Not sure.
What are the...
It's non-union, the workers, I guess. I don't know. For whatever that means. I don't care. It's fine.
I was wondering what the significance
How did you like Colorado?
I loved it. It was amazing.
What was the best part that you can talk about?
Man.
I'm not interviewing you. I'm just
the people.
Asking.
I don't know. It was a toss-up. I think every meal I had there was fantastic. All the sights were breathtaking, but the people were just so awesome. And just
Really?
we did a lot of driving, and we got a rental SUV, and we went around. We went to Cripple Creek, which was cool. It's just like you're on a dirt. Excuse me, man, my throat is killing me today. You're on a dirt road, and all of a sudden, it just opens up, and it's like a strip of what looks like an old Western town. Like
Really?
the houses are all like structured, going downhill, very boxy, and you go down the one street that's there. There's a couple.
So is it like Chadwick's or something? I mean, how
it's
big
like,
is it?
New
Hartford or
maybe the size of Chadwick's. Honestly, yeah, it's small, but it's like 8 casinos, single floor casinos,
nice.
all put together. All just like restaurant, bed, hotel, casinos.
Yeah.
And so just like old people who have been there forever that travel. I mean, it's in the middle of the mountains. And you got to round all these crazy corners. And then all of a sudden you're there. And you're just in this little casino town. And it's like,
cozy or something.
Yeah, yeah. And it's got that old nostalgia of a Western town. That's exactly the way I would describe it. Old Western-y.
Yeah.
Like you're walking down the streets. And it's drink while you play. So we're just having a good time talking to people.
That's always to the advantage of the casino, by the way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I easily spent probably $60 playing blackjack.
Yeah.
But, you sit down with some old timers who have been there forever and are always going to be there. And they just tell you, like, how they play, how long they've been there, their story. And that was everywhere.
That's good.
And you could see all these little towns you're driving through. The thing is with, like, Colorado, everything seems like stretched out. Like Colorado Springs is where we stayed, and there's like I think it's like 460,000 people, but it's very elongated, and so everything like just connects here. And by the time
is that because the mountains are like in corridors?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I've never been there.
Colorado Springs is the southeast part, and it's like half the city is flats, and that goes flat all the way to Kansas. But then the other half is Pikes Peak, and you go right into the mountains. So, like, it's like the drop down of the Rockies.
I always think of the Wizard of Oz when you say Kansas.
Kansas?
It's like, instantly.
Toto.
That the house is floating. And the Wicked Witch of the West.
I think of Africa by Toto.
Do you?
Yeah. Kansas.
I think our favorite town like that we ever went to was Mendocino, California.
Really?
Is that the right? I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
So
I've never been to California.
Yeah. So when you go to California, you always have to go where I went. No, I'm just kidding.
That's anybody who's ever gone anywhere.
we always went to L.A. or anyway, Jackie and I went to San Francisco to my niece's wedding, and then because when we got married a year prior to that, we got married on a Friday or something, and then Monday we went to work. We were just like. It was good.
Typical.
But then a year later, we went to the wedding in San Francisco, and then that's where our boys were there. It was a lot of fun. It was awesome. But then they flew home, and we went on our honeymoon. Excuse me. So that was a 1 week excursion where we basically drove east 1 hour to Yosemite National Park.
Yeah.
And I'm Googling up what to do there.
Yeah.
Because I got my cell phone right with my hand.
Yeah.
And I find out that this guy had just died. One of those guys that goes in the flying suit.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Like
I wish I could think of his name.
The wing glider.
I'll try to think of his name. But
I feel like I remember vaguely hearing about this. This was
So-
last year?
No, this is 4 years ago.
Oh,
So-
okay.
So I go, I start becoming obsessed with this guy in his life. And he just died, the day before I got there. And I went to right exactly where he jumped off. See, he jumped off with his partner, his buddy, and his girlfriend was waiting at the bottom. It's all illegal.
Yeah.
So these are, what do you call that?
Wing gliding.
Wing gliding.
Yeah.
So there's a big, there's this outlook. It's like you
Right.
look down and it's like a mile down.
Right.
And it's freaking breathtaking. And I'm like this.
Wow.
I'm 20 feet from the edge, and I'm like, so I'm like, there's this part where you got to go up to, and I'm like, I'm going up to it.
Yeah.
And it was snowing out. It's summer. It's snowing out.
Wow.
It's so high.
You're high up.
I get close to it, and I'm on my hands and knees now. My palms are sweating more than when I come on this podcast. I'm nervous. I'm real nervous. But
You're
I'm like, I
nervous
got to
coming,
go.
huh?
And I get up there. He didn't jump from there. Him and his buddy jumped from 100 yards off the beaten trail. But
Yeah.
there's this V. There's this certain V where they would do it all the time. One guy would go, shoo, shoo, and they'd both fly as close to the V.
Wow.
Shoo, shoo. Well, on that particular day, they just touched for some reason, and they both perished.
Both of them died.
They both died.
Wow.
And it was the weirdest thing for me to be there and to go there and to see where he was.
That's
And,
powerful.
I'm a kind of, I guess didn't used to be afraid of heights, but I guess I am now. So you might, if you're not afraid of heights, do it now. 'Cause
Yeah.
You might
Yeah.
might become afraid of it. So it was just like, it was kind of evil and creepy.
But is that why it was your favorite place to go?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
That
If
is
he
a-
didn't die,
That is very interesting.
I wouldn't have went.
Because it had just happened. And it was so
It was horrible.
it's
I
like
felt a little
spiritual
guilty.
almost.
Almost like, say,
I feel it's the opposite. I think you're paying homage.
maybe. But what if you went to see a daredevil perform some daredevilish feat
And he died.
And he died. Would you not feel like you killed him?
Yeah, a little bit.
You take the whole ticket
Like
sales,
he died for my entertainment.
thousands of tickets, 10,000 tickets divided by your ticket. That's your 1/10,000th that you killed him.
Yeah.
So
Because
it's
he did
a
it for
weird
you.
thing.
You know? Yeah, that is
Yeah,
weird.
but I'm telling you, anybody listening, I'm telling you to go to Yosemite Park, pay the airfare and the hotel and
Yeah.
all that. It's worth it just to leave New York, go there and do it. It's so breathtaking, beautiful, incredible.
I can't wait to get there. I would love to ride my Harley from here to there. New York
It's
to Cali.
insane.
That'd be amazing.
So that was like 2 days there. We saw a UFO in the park on the first night. I'm not kidding you.
A UFO?
A UFO.
All right, let's hear it.
It's true.
A UFO.
Yeah. So Jackie rented a log cabin
Okay.
in the park on
Yosemite
the south side.
Park,
Yes,
okay.
in the park, south side. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty good. We had been driving and we're like excited, and so we bring in our luggage, and she's all perfect, and I'm like, whatever, let's go for a walk. And so I'm like, get a beer or something. She doesn't drink. I got a beer. She got a water, and I'm like, let's go for a walk. So I'm going for a walk with Jackie, and we cross this riverbed that's dry. So everything's dry.
Yeah.
And then I start thinking, like, you know what? I don't know what's here. There could be mountain lions. I don't know what
Rattlesnakes.
what's
anything.
gonna kill me. I don't know.
Yeah.
So we kind of like pretended we were like exploring, but we just basically went 100 yards, and then we went up this dry river thing, and we just sat there, and we're just talking like we are.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. We saw this like round, like a sphere.
Daytime?
Daytime.
Daytime. Okay.
About 4:00.
Okay.
Pacific time. So there's this round, like someone blew a bubble, and it's going like this, and it's going like this. See how I'm at the camera?
Yep.
And it's a real thing. And I'm seeing it, and I'm like, look at that. And she's seeing it.
It's just, how big? How far
It's
away?
about this big.
How far away?
It's about 30 yards away. Now, also, I encourage you to ask Jackie, because
I'm going to. She's coming on.
Well,
Thanks.
we talked about this separately to other people, so so we could see which part of was,
Yeah.
So this thing is going up and down. It's completely silent. It's like it's translucent.
Yeah.
Almost like a bubble, but it's not a bubble. And the depth perception, it's going in front of some trees and behind others. So I know.
Really messing with my head.
So
right
I
now.
know that it's a real thing, and it's a real distance that I can judge by these trees. And it kind of goes and goes, and we watched this thing for seemed like 3 minutes, probably a minute, maybe less or more, and it kept going, and then it just went out of sight, and that was it, okay, and that was it, and there was nothing more about it. So that whole night, we didn't really talk about it, but as days went,
you both said, "Hey, let's look at this."
We both saw it.
You both acknowledged it.
We talked about it. We're like, "What is that?"
And you didn't lose your mind immediately. I would have lost my mind.
What's killing me is we didn't, which makes it even weirder because I am neighbors with my brother-in-law, Randy Walker.
Yes.
He's a big UFO guy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we talked about UFOs. You ask Austin, my son. He was brought up with UFO talking. So we talked about it. And so the fact that I didn't, so that thing went out of my sight. The fact that I didn't go find where that went, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't I go? But I think I was afraid of I don't know where I am. I don't know what's in this woods.
That is wow, that's crazy.
So I came back home and I'm looking up UFO sightings at Yosemite. There's millions and gazillions of them. But I'm not saying it was from another planet. But it could have been like a spirit or something. I don't know.
What if it was like dark matter or something?
And I don't know. I don't know anything what it was. That freaks me out.
The fact that you didn't immediately run to it and
I had one beer.
You were
Jackie
almost
had
subdued.
No beers.
You were almost subdued by it.
It didn't.
You just felt like I don't need to go explore that.
It's like
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's like if I train you your whole life
Yeah.
to do this certain thing, and you get to the thing and it happens,
and you don't do it. Yeah.
And you're like,
why? Yeah.
What the heck?
Wow.
So that happened.
That's
but,
heavy duty.
That happened. It was awesome.
That is amazing.
Then we continue. So then Yosemite was awesome. You got to go there. Then we leave. And we go up this. There's the redwoods. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Then there's this. It's called the corridor of the giants. So it's basically a road, and it's redwood trees. They're everywhere. They're not just in certain parts. There's redwood trees everywhere. We pulled off the road. And I'm like, come on, Jackie, let's go. We're not even on anybody's land. I don't think anybody even owns this land. It's just like the government owns it.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
So we're just walking. Same thing, though. We're pretending to explore, but we can see the car. We're not getting out of it.
Let's not get crazy.
But I'm telling you, Jackie standing against one of those trees that had fallen maybe 100 and something years ago, and it would take 4 Jackies to just get to the sideways part of the tree.
Wow.
I mean, it's in the moss and peat moss is thick. It's crazy.
That is amazing.
It's so beautiful. Then we continued and we ended up in we flew home out of Portland, Oregon. So Portland, Oregon is incredible too. I mean, it's not. I don't say it's incredible everybody should go to Portland. I'm not saying that. It's a city that's, it's very progressive city.
Yeah.
A lot of people get around with bicycles, and it's in style, so to speak, whatever the word is for that. It's in vogue. But anyway, a lot of homeless people.
Yeah, that's how it was with Denver.
A lot of people that are drug addicted and suffering, and I mean real bad stuff. Sores all over their face and just tough.
It's terrible.
We went to a pizza place, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and there's a girl getting ready to lay down on the sidewalk.
Wow.
So I bought her an extra slice, you know. But the whole city, it's all hundreds of homeless people. And wherever you go, they're like beggars. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to give them money because they're going to use it on drugs and alcohol. A lot of alcoholics, too.
It's always that.
So I did this thing where it's another experiment. I bought all those little stick candies, hard candies, but they're like a candy cane, but there's no hook.
Yeah.
I had 10 10 of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, anyone wants money, I'm giving him this. So this guy's like, I got $1, I need $1.
Yeah.
And he's got like no teeth, and he's like, I know what he's gonna use with $1. I'm like, no, but I got candy. He goes, I don't want candy, I want $1. I go, come on, it's candy, it's good. Here, try one. He's like, I'm a diabetic. You know, like, he's not stupid. These guys are not stupid.
No, I know. There's so many people trying to scam.
They're just at the end of the rope, and they didn't leave the pizza place. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to them. But it's, we saw a young couple just hugging each other, and this young man was in pain, and he's just like this, and he's like, and he was all sores, he's completely drug addicted, and it's so sad.
Yeah.
Because he's like half my age,
I
you know?
Right? And you can just see the life
it's like
spiraling.
freaking man, you could
have did so much.
Something.
I know.
Well, you still can, but
Yeah.
you got to do it.
I know, and a lot of people, it takes a little bit more than they have within their wheelhouse
I know.
to break those habits.
And, you know,
addictions.
there's a lot more things that can do that to you now. Like when I was a kid,
Absolutely.
when I was a kid, some kids smoked pot in high school, hardly any. Seriously.
Yeah.
And as I got older, there was people that would do cocaine. I mean, I was exposed to that once. It's very rare.
Yeah.
Like, not many people had cocaine or
Yeah.
anything.
But
now there's synthetic things.
yeah,
and
drugs
stuff.
are so prevalent.
So it's a lot.
And you have
It's
that.
a lot easier to go off the rails.
Yeah, you have the pharmaceutical
So I look at a
pandemic.
guy off the rails, and I could sympathize with him because I didn't have that exposure.
Right.
And I just think, I think what's important, like, no matter what you're on or what situation you're in, it's like the weirdest thing. Like, did you ever like feel like, this has nothing to do with drugs, but like it's just like you're like getting weak and you're like, I'm out of shape.
Yeah.
You know? So,
right now.
So if
I
you
do.
just
Yeah.
do like,
Yeah.
if you just say, all right, I'm gonna bench press for
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So the next day you're like, I feel
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Like then the next day you do sit-ups or something.
Yeah.
And it's so fast to go from feeling like shit to like, all right.
Yeah.
You build off the little thing.
Right.
You know, and if that person in the park hugging that girl could just get one step
A day.
just one step.
But I think it goes in reverse as well. I think people need to be very careful not to be absorbed by the negatives. And, you know, whereas you might get a superficial or very, very quick fleeting.
Number 3, by the way.
Yep. 3. Trace.
Doing it.
Trace Amigos.
Not bad for the day after the big
Yeah, I know.
festivities.
I'm surprised I'm drinking it all. Good God. I sound like I smoked a carton of cigarettes, but that's just
yeah, I
because
think you were screaming.
I was
something
screaming all the time. It's so loud down there. But, you know, people can't get absorbed into negative things, you know, whereas you might go out and get drunk on the weekends and have a good time. Excuse me. You need to remember, you know, don't put your body through all that. You need to be mindful of the fact that you don't want to fall down the rabbit hole is how I see it. And that's what happens. People get so deep and they can't before they realize, like, why? How did I get here? And I have had a few people tell me they would like me to address addiction on the show. I think it's a very touchy subject, but I would be willing to sit down with someone who has an experience about it and kind of discuss what it means to have your life all of a sudden when you realize that it's been overtaken and your journey out of it. You know,
I think it
is a crazy time to be alive with all the synthetics and everything as well.
There's checks and balances. You have to be in charge of yourself. So, you know, I've always drank beer and wine and stuff, but I always had this private thing in my head, like, I can't do this. Or there's certain things I couldn't do. Yeah. You can't abuse your best friend. Yeah. So if you like drinking, you have to drink by the rules. You can't go to work drunk. You can't coach. No. You can't coach your son with beer on your breath.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's just certain things. And then as you get older and you become more entrenched with your addiction, then you have to start looking at it different. Okay, I'm not 20 anymore. Yeah. I'm not the young guy on Varick Street. Right. I'm like, you got to figure it out, dude. Yeah. So I start having certain days where I don't drink. And I think that's self-preservation. Yeah. And just natural. It's normal.
Yeah.
And actually, I like those days just as much as the other days.
Yeah.
They're just different
Yeah.
days, you know.
Yeah.
But I think everybody has to know. I think everybody knows when they're slipping into the abyss. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm
It's
not good. And then if you see your friend doing that,
Yeah.
help them.
Absolutely. People need to be able
Because
to
it's
help.
a lot easier to tip them up
Yes.
while they're just tipping
Yes.
than if they're falling
Than to pick
down.
them up off the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great way to put it, Billy.
I'm
Absolutely.
just saying. Like, if you're,
I honestly
Don't
can
worry.
apply to even gaining weight. Like, I have put on a few pounds myself, you know?
I know.
If someone had just told me 10 pounds ago that I'm getting fat, I would have put the fork down, you know?
I
But
think
it's
you
like-
need to have your range.
I think people realize, oh, I'm getting fat, but then they're like, still like, oh, let me just go snack real hard on all these processed carbs and sugar, eat
Yeah.
junk
And
food and all that.
Another thing I think too, I'm like the king of like always having a new obsession. Like,
Yeah.
I was a vegetarian. Now I'm a
Really?
beef farmer. I'm just all these things. So I'm like, you can't have beef cows if you're not eating meat. I just, so you have to do.
Billy.
You always have to have these parameters. Like, say if you're talking about your weight,
I was vegetarian.
you got to have a window.
Yeah.
You got to have a window.
Yeah.
Okay. If I weigh myself and it starts with a 1.7, I can't eat that day.
Yeah.
And because I wanted to be 169 and a half. But then after a while, you're like, I'm within 4 pounds.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know, and my obsessions of hobbies and things, it always is always changing and whatever, you know. But whatever, that's what it is. I get.
What's your new obsession, new hobby?
I should know this.
Yeah.
There is something I can't think. Oh, blacksmithing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Nick, Jackie's son Nick, a couple years ago or maybe last year, he started thinking about that, and he's like, "Mom, you got a blow dryer? I need your blow dryer." And I went out, and he's got concrete blocks and a brake drum, an old brake drum, and her blow dryer and charcoal, and he's gonna like start melting metal and shit. And so I'm like, I would help him do that. And
Yeah.
so I started getting obsessed with that. If you go on YouTube and like look up Alex Steele and all these blacksmithing, there's more blacksmiths in the world right now than there ever has been.
Really?
Yes, more of them.
Wow.
Not more talented necessarily, but
more quantity. Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
it's fun. It's cool. That's
I didn't realize
that's the
it's
new
so
thing.
big.
That's the new thing I'm doing. Trying to do.
What do you make?
Every time I make something good, I can't redo it.
Yeah.
Like if I make something good, it's like you can't just redo it the next day.
What have you made before?
Little hooks, dice, 1-inch steel dice.
Oh, really?
I was
That's
gonna
cool.
bring some for you, but I didn't
Oh,
have
you should
time.
have. That would have been awesome.
I know. Just things. Try to make useful things. You know,
Yeah.
like beer openers.
Could you make dice on a little chain, like old school, that you'd hang?
I don't know. You know.
Try it.
So
It's a new challenge.
It's challenging and it's tough because the coal gets going and if you're daydreaming and you can melt your metal.
Yeah.
It's not. You see these guys on TV at YouTube. They're so good and it's so easy, but they're good.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
The
So that's my
science.
latest one. I mean, 5 years ago I took up playing piano. I'm like 55 at that time. I'm like, I think I'll play piano.
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people that age
Yeah.
decide to do that.
You have a
So,
beautiful piano. I was just there the other day. It's
Thank
amazing.
you. Yeah, it's a Steinway made a little before World War One.
Wow. It's beautiful.
That's my snowmobile and my motocross bike, and that's all that.
Yeah.
So that's my thing, and I'm learning, you know. But
Wait, you have a
fun.
snowmobile pre-World War One?
no, I don't.
you're
that would have
just
been
saying-
that would have been a dog. That would have whatever you got.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Right.
That's my thing.
Yeah, that's all. No, it's
So-
beautiful.
Yeah.
I played it a little bit.
Yep. So I'm trying to learn that, and what it is like I don't have an objective. So my partner at work, he's like, "What are you taking piano for?" And I'm like,
Get as good as I can.
"Because when you're in the nursing home, I'm going to play a song for you. That's the reason. That's the whole reason,
Right.
So, but the reason really is
It keeps your
because
mind
I love
sharp.
it.
Yeah.
Like if I practice an hour, which I do every night, pretty much, that's not drudgery. That's like I love it.
You're getting better too when you
Yeah, a little bit.
you like the results and everything.
Yeah, I like learning on it. It's fun.
Definitely
you know.
keeps you sharp. And they say that like after a certain age, up until a certain age, your mind is still creating these pathways, these neural pathways of memories and conscious thoughts. And then after a certain amount of time, I can't remember the exact, maybe 30, 40, 50 years into it, your brain begins to crystallize those pathways. And the ones that are used the most, the things that you do the most often become more crystallized. They're the last things you'll forget, kind of thing, you know?
Back in the day when we first got the piano, that was our thing. We're like, Jackie and me are like, well, if we play piano, we won't get dementia, maybe, because it'll keep your brain thinking.
Absolutely.
And I think, I'm not saying that's the answer.
No, but it's definitely helps in all regards.
I think the time to do whatever you want to do is right now.
Yes.
Like, if you're listening to this podcast and it's Sunday, Monday's your day. Like, do it. Do whatever. And if you can't do it as best you can.
Yes.
Or if you don't know what you want to do, think about it. I'd like to say just go forward. You know, you should always try to improve your life.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times that involves just, in some instances, being a grown-up and doing the right thing.
A little struggle.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Let's try that, you know?
People are often afraid of change and struggle as well, too. So, you know, while you might have been in a career for 40 years, maybe all along you knew that wasn't the career you wanted. And now's the time to do the things that you want to do, right?
Yep.
You know what?
And if you're with a spouse that truly loves you, they'll let you free and let you give up the big money job and do the job that's
making you happy. You know what? It's been hour 40. I think that's a perfect way.
We're doing good. Yeah.
I think that's a perfect way to start wrapping it up.
All right. I'm good.
Man, let me, this is my bass outro I like to run when we're wrapping up. Let me tell you, Billy, this was awesome.
It was fun. I loved it.
I'm so glad you came on.
I was stoked to come.
Thank you.
It was a lot of fun.
I know it's kind of hard to pencil people in, but I'm glad we were able to work this out. And what an amazing story, man. We definitely got to do this again.
Yeah, do it again.
And, excuse me. And we're looking forward to having Jackie on here in the next couple
Jackie,
weeks.
You're coming.
Yep. So thank you.
Cha-ching.
Cha-ching.
You're going to love it, Jackie. It's a nice studio. Very comfortable.
Thank you. I appreciate that very much. I try to make it seem a little homey and professional.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to my boys, Austin and Jared.
Absolutely.
And Nick and Alex. I love you guys with all my heart.
Oh, man, that's so nice. Thank you to everybody who's been watching, everybody who's been supporting it, sharing the message. Like I was telling Billy before, I went out on Varick Street and just had the local scene all around me. And having so many people just give me a great outpouring of support, and everybody saying that they watch it and like the idea, it means the world to me. So, you know, having awesome guests like you on, and we'll definitely be talking about your friends that you have ideas about coming up. And so it all comes down to, this is something I'm doing because I love it and I wanted to do it, but it's also something that people are getting enjoyment out of. And they're getting underlying themes and messages and enjoying these stories, and that's what matters. So thank you to everybody, and please like it, follow it, subscribe to it, and we'll be going live pretty much every Tuesday, or every Sunday at 2 is what I meant to say. So all right. Thanks
for having me. It was awesome.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed it.
I'm
now
so
I gotta
glad
have Jackie.
Yes.
Sober Jackie's gonna drive me.
Yes.
Home.
All right.
My pleasure to be here.
Tip of the cap to you all. Happy St. Patty's Day, and try not to get too lost out there. Have a good one.